Welcome back. You're watching News at Prime with me, Masa Kekana. Now to one of our big stories from today. Political analysts say the National Freedom Party's decision to withdraw from the KwaZulu-Natal government of provincial unity could trigger a political deadlock in the province. The move, announced by the party's National Executive Committee, raises questions about the future stability of the GPU. For more, we are joined by MK Party's second Deputy President, Tony Yengeni. Mr. Yengeni, thank you so much for coming into studio and joining us. A very good evening to you.
Good evening.
Firstly, you obviously knew that the NFP was going to pull out of the GPU. There were already talks about that motion of no confidence, and you knew that the NFP would back the MK Party. When you heard today's media briefing, though, what were your thoughts?
Well, I want to start by congratulating the NFP on behalf of Mkondo Esizwe for having left the GPU and endorsed and supported MK as the majority party that must govern the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We have issued a statement to that effect today to congratulate the NFP for its stance. And we think that together with the NFP and the EFF, we can put again the vote of no confidence back into the legislature and make a very big dent against the current government.
Let's say the NFP, I mean, they've already indicated that the member who didn't vote according to party lines, MEC Mbalishinga, is undergoing disciplinary. She's been suspended as well. Let's say the NFP gets its house in order and gets somebody else into the legislature who will be agreeable, and then this motion of no confidence does go through. For the MK Party, what does the win-win look like? Is it just the removal of the premier? What happens thereafter?
Well, the vote of no confidence is primarily against the Premier because the Premier has exhibited very corrupt ways of handling the state of KwaZulu-Natal. Mismanagement, corruption, nepotism, abusing of state resources. You can go on and on. So primarily our target is to remove that premier and replace that premier with somebody who can rise to the occasion and deliver what the voters of KZN want from its own government.
Is that implying that the premier would then have to come from the MK Party?
That matter is yet to be decided upon. I can't say for now which party will present the premier of KZN amongst those three. It's a matter of discussion and debate amongst ourselves. And at the right time, we will come out in public and pronounce our stance on that matter.
So the premier would then be replaced in this, let's say, this ideal scenario for the MKP that we're talking about. What happens to the government of provincial unity? Would you be happy to work with parties like the IFP and the DA?
For now, we're only speaking to the EFF. We're speaking to the NFP. And, but our doors are open to any party who wants to speak to us because we are the majority party in that legislature. We've got 37 seats. The next party after us is the IFP with 15 seats. After the IFP is the ANC with 14 seats. And so even if you can put the IFP and the ANC together, they can't make even 30 of our seats. So we are ready to take them on, and we think that this time around will make a dent into their, government of provisional unity.
Will it be a dent, though, considering the numbers? You know, you're speaking to the EFF, the NFP, that's 2 seats, 1 seat, and of course with your seat as well. It gets us back to what political analysts are saying, would probe the situation where it brings a deadlock in KZN, and then how does the provincial government work?
It might well be that we may end up in a deadlock situation, but politics are very, how can I put it, they're very dynamic. You will remember that in the last vote, we insisted on a vote that is a secret vote, but the Speaker ruled against us. Well, there are many reasons why we're taking that stance, and we're going to take it again. And if we're given that opportunity, we're certain that certain members of other parties will find it prudent for them to vote with us to remove that premier of KZN.
Is this based off conversations that you're already having with other political parties that are in the government of provincial unity that have kind of given you assurances that, look, if people don't know and it is a secret vote, we will actually vote with the MK party? Have these talks already started happening?
The talks that are happening are between us and the EFF and the NFP, which we have pronounced on publicly for now. But as I say, that we are certain that given the dynamic political situation in the country and in the province, there may well be members of that legislature that would want to vote with us in removing that premier.
The secret vote wasn't granted this time around. What if it's not granted the next time around? Again, we find ourselves in the position that we found ourselves before, and your motion of no confidence, again, could then fail.
Look, this is not a once-off event. It's a process. It's a struggle, actually, against the forces that seek to control this country and its economy for themselves and not for the people. And the people of KZN have seen through them. That's why they gave the biggest vote to Umkhonto weSizwe. And so that popular vote must be made into concrete reality in the form of state power in KZN. So we may not succeed in the first instance, in the second instance, but the struggle continues. We'll continue with this path until we succeed at the end of the day. And we're convinced that in the final analysis, we will succeed. If you go by the results of the previous by-elections in KZN and the votes that we have received from the people, from the ground, it's very clear to me and to everybody that Umkhonto weSizwe is the fastest growing party in the country today. And without doubt, in a space of time, it will emerge as the governing party, not only of the province, for that matter. Our eyes are on the national elections themselves.
You know, today in that press briefing, the NFP leader did something quite notable in acknowledging their internal squabbles that have also led them into positions that they didn't necessarily want to find themselves in. When it comes to the MK party, a concern would also be about political stability. Should the MK party govern the KZN province or any other province, or as you said, what you are looking for nationally? When one looks at the court cases, the several changes to the Secretary General, to the Treasurer General, the Chief Whip, you know, suspension of a Deputy President, the leadership concerns and the squabbles internally so, would the MK party be ready to stabilize and govern a province when internally in the party it seems there are remissions of instability?
I have no doubt in my mind, and I'm absolutely certain that we have the wherewithal and we have the cadres that are capable of running the state of KwaZulu-Natal effectively and efficiently. In our ranks, we have people who served in government before. Some of them are in parliament, some of them are in the legislatures. very successful cadres of our movement. And so we do not lack capacity internally. The issue of challenges that MK is facing are very, very natural and normal as far as I'm concerned. It's 2 weeks ago, the MK party became 2 years old. So it's a political toddler compared to the giants that are in the political space in this country. But that toddler has taken on big giants, big dogs, and it has wrestled them to the ground. And so we must look at these things in perspective. Yes, we have our own challenges like any other party. We're still a 2-year-old party. But believe you me, we are ready for action. We are ready for governance.
Mm. You're speaking about having the capacity, having the skilled cadres as well, and being a growing party. And I don't think anyone can dispute that part as well, about being a growing party and the numbers that you were able to get. But when it comes to chopping and changing, what assurances can you give prospective voters, potential voters and residents of KZN that should the MK party come into power with the EFF and the NFP and whoever else that they can get, that it won't be a leadership revolving door. It won't be chopping and changing because you are spoiled for choice with the number of people that you have. And we've seen within your leadership ranks this kind of revolving door.
That government led by Mkondo Wesizwe will be stable. Precisely because, as President Zuma has indicated, the reason why we are chopping and changing certain positions in the party, it is because we are looking for the right people for the right job. It's not about you. It's not about him. It's not about me. It's about the party. If at a certain point we realize that this comrade or that person has no capacity to do the job, we don't need to go to a conference to go and remove you. You are removed on the spot, and we replace you with the person that is going to do the job. Finish and clear.
So there's pros and cons to that. You know, I mean, when we're talking, you mentioned earlier this toddler that the MK party is and able to take on giants. And part of it are teething problems that a young party is going through. But is it fair to go through your teething problems while you're governing, should you be able to get rid of the GPU? Are you going to be taking the KZN residents with you on this ride while you are still kind of being a guinea pig at it and trying to check, is this the right person or it's not? And then therefore there will be chopping and changing, therefore there will be instability. Well,
you know, a 2-year-old baby is crawling. At some point it's going to walk. At some point it's going to run. It's going to fall. Now and again, here and there. That's the nature of life, human life. So political parties go through the same. MK is no different. And I think some of you must be patient, and because all parties that I know of in this country have gone through the same and even worse. But we are very confident that especially with the vote and the popular support that we have from the people of KZN, it's strengthening us. It's giving us direction. It's giving us energy to move forward. It's not about anything else other than the people deciding that we are the ones that must lead that province. And that is what must happen.
In terms of timeframes for the next motion of no confidence, you've already indicated that that will definitely be happening again. Of course, the NFP is busy with household internal things at the moment, and they obviously need to replace Mbali Shinga after suspending her. Once they have their ducks in a row, do you have some sort of time frame as to when you will go for another motion of no confidence? And in that process, will you, I know you said your doors are open, but will you proactively be going to woo some of the other members in case that motion of no confidence is not done in secret?
Well, in terms of timeframes, we for now, are busy engaging with other parties, with other partners of ours, about the modalities of the next round of vote of no confidence. And when we are ready with the timeframes, I'm sure that will be announced publicly. But the discussions continue amongst us. And I can assure you that not only are we talking to EFF and the NFP, but there are individual members of the legislature that come to us from time to time and express support for our position. And so we will continue with those engagements until such time that we are ready to take the next round of a vote of no confidence.
We're all curious to know about these other legislature members and the parties they come from. If you could maybe drop a hint.
Well, we don't go to them, they come to us. Bazizela, as the saying goes. And I'm not in a position at this point to speculate and to divulge the identities of those engagements.
I was trying my luck there, but thank you so much for coming into studio, Mr. Yengeni, and having this discussion with us. Really appreciate your time.